The rapture isn't coming. It has already begun. Not with a trumpet, not with clouds splitting open, but with a quiet, invisible filter sweeping through lives, moment by moment. While most are waiting for a dramatic event, heaven has activated a divine process, a filter that's already separating who's truly ready and who's simply playing the part. This isn't about what you think makes you ready. This is about what heaven sees when no one else is looking. Let this shake you. Many people who believe they'll rise with Christ won't even hear the sound. They'll still be in church, still singing, still preaching, but already left out. Why? Because the rapture filter isn't checking your beliefs. It's checking your heart. And what it's finding, in silence, is exposing more than we realize. Today, you'll discover what this silent filter really is, how it works, and more importantly, how to know if you're already being filtered out. The warning signs are subtle but deadly, and the ones passing through, they're not always the ones in the spotlight. They're the ones heaven knows by name, quietly, intimately. So before it's too late, ask yourself, am I truly ready, or have I just assumed I was? Because the rapture filter has started, and this moment may be the only chance you have left to see what side you're on. While many are still waiting for a great sign in the sky, a quiet sorting has already begun, and few have noticed. God is filtering hearts, like someone separating gold from sand. No noise, no spotlight, no grand announcement. This filter won't show up in headlines or in conversations about the end times. It's a spiritual operation, precise and invisible, needing no microphone or stage. Everything is happening behind the scenes, but the results, they'll last forever. The great deception is thinking the rapture will begin the separation. The truth is, the filter is already active, and it doesn't rely on prophecies, earthquakes, or blood moons. God isn't watching for outward signs. He's searching the hidden places, intentions, desires, motives. It's like a fine sieve, catching even the appearance of godliness without true substance. And the most unsettling part, many still think they have time, but heaven's clock is already ticking. Picture a filter working in the spirit, separating, discerning, weighing, all in silence. It's not checking how many verses you've memorized, but what lives inside you when no one's looking. God's filter moves like the wind. You don't see it, but you feel its impact. Someone who seems strong in faith might already be rejected, while a broken, unseen heart is being accepted. It's invisible, but absolutely real. Before the trumpet ever sounds in the sky, heaven will have already drawn the line. God doesn't need a spotlight to know who truly belongs to Him. He examines what happens in the secret, in the heart, where no mask can survive. People who seem full of faith may be just performing, but the true sons and daughters, they're being marked now, in the silence. And what comes next will make this hidden separation undeniably visible. Most people think they're safe because they go to church, read devotionals, or can quote scripture from memory. But here's the uncomfortable truth. This divine filter doesn't care about religious routines. It's not measuring how often you raise your hands during worship or if you call yourself a Christian on social media. The filter is spiritual, not superficial. It's after something deeper, something religion alone can't produce, real inner transformation. You can wear the Christian label like a badge, speak fluent church talk, and still be miles away from God's heart. This filter doesn't check your theology degree or how many church events you attend. It checks your surrender when no one's around. Are you yielding your will in secret? Are you choosing obedience when it costs you comfort? pride, or popularity. That's the stuff this filter detects, the kind of choices that reveal who you really are before God. Many who think they're spiritually awake are merely rehearsing religion. They know how to look saved, how to sound holy, but inside, nothing's changed. It's like painting over rust. It may shine for a moment, but the decay is still spreading underneath. True transformation isn't loud. It's usually silent, subtle, and rooted in a deep hunger for God that no one else sees. And it shows up not in your preaching, but in your living. God's filter is more interested in your private character than your public image. He's looking for humility that's not performed, for faithfulness that doesn't need applause. Maybe you've never preached a sermon, but you've forgiven in secret. Maybe no one knows your name, but you've refused compromise behind closed doors. That's the kind of life heaven sees. And it's that kind of heart that passes the filter, even if the world never notices. Long before God acts publicly, he filters privately. Scripture is full of moments where silent separation happened behind the scenes, long before judgment or glory fell. Take the 10 virgins, for example. All of them looked the same, waited the same, believed the same. But only 5 had oil, the invisible preparation that made all the difference. The filter didn't care who looked ready. It revealed who was ready, in spirit. Then there's the parable of the wheat and tares. Both grow in the same field, under the same sun, drinking the same rain. For a time, they're indistinguishable. But over time, the filter of maturity exposes what's real. This is how God works. He allows time to bring clarity. What starts looking similar eventually reveals a deeper nature. The fruit, or the lack of it, makes the difference, not the label. Think about Laodicea. They thought they were rich, blessed, and spiritually strong. But heaven saw them as wretched, poor, blind, and naked. That's the danger of self-deception. You can be fully convinced you're safe, while the filter already placed you outside. God never needed a megaphone to make his judgments. He filtered quietly, by discernment, by truth. And only later came the unveiling. Every major move of God was preceded by a silent separation. Noah wasn't chosen when the rain came. He was filtered long before, through obedience and reverence. David wasn't recognized in battle. He was filtered in the field while feeding sheep. The same pattern continues now. God is filtering before he moves, and those who are paying attention can feel it, even if no one around them is talking about it. The filter isn't coming. It's already here, working, moving, deciding. Heaven is in motion, even while earth is distracted. Right now, as people scroll, work, and worship, a spiritual separation is quietly unfolding. And the sobering truth? It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's invisible, but it's eternal. God isn't waiting for a future event to begin dividing. He's already doing it, heart by heart, choice by choice. What's terrifying is that many think they're still in, when spiritually, they've already been set aside. They're still preaching, posting Bible verses, singing on stages, yet heaven no longer recognizes their voice. It's the same as when Samson lost his strength. He didn't even know the spirit had departed. That's what this filter does. It moves silently, like a thief in the night, revealing not what we say, but who we truly are. This filtering isn't happening in church programs or YouTube sermons. It's happening in the quiet spaces of your life. In the way you forgive that person who hurt you. In the way you handle temptation when no one is watching. In how you respond to the Spirit's correction. It's not public charisma that passes the filter. It's private character. Are you still convicted? Are you still hungry for holiness? That's where the separation is happening. And yet, many live unaware, convinced they're fine because nothing looks wrong. But just because the lights are on doesn't mean someone's home. This is the deception of the age, to think that activity equals approval. God is watching the secret places. He's sealing those who are His, not based on church attendance, but on obedience in the hidden life. And the line between in and out is getting clearer, even if most still can't see it. So what exactly is heaven looking for? What passes through this invisible filter that's already working in the background of our lives? The answer isn't in titles or talents, it's in the quiet places of your heart. What approves you is humility, not the kind you show off, but the kind that breaks you in prayer when no one is watching. It's obedience that costs something, especially when it would be easier to compromise. It's the spiritual hunger that pulls you out of bed to seek God when everyone else is sleeping. True approval in this divine filter comes when you're willing to be shaped, not just applauded. When correction doesn't offend you, but fuels your transformation. God is watching how you react to the small instructions. Forgive, serve, give, surrender. Are you faithful in the little? That's what approves you. Think about people like Daniel or Joseph. They didn't pass heaven's test by preaching to crowds, but by honoring God in the shadows, in prison, in exile, in silence. On the other hand, many are being disqualified by things that seem innocent on the outside, but are toxic in the spirit. One of the biggest dangers: religious performance. Looking the part, saying the words, playing the role, but having a heart full of pride, bitterness, or indifference. God isn't moved by your worship playlist or your ability to quote scripture. He's scanning for what's real. And pride, self-righteousness, and spiritual laziness will never make it through that filter. This filter disqualifies those who are comfortably numb. People who have settled into routine but lost their reverence. Those who use God's name but not His standards. Who speak of faith but live in fear. Who talk about holiness but refuse to be set apart. It's not about how loud your declarations are. It's about whether heaven recognizes you as His. And that recognition comes from the kind of life you live when no one is looking, when it's just you and God. How can you know if you're passing this silent, divine filter? It's not about feelings, it's about fruit. One of the clearest signs is a consistent spirit of brokenness, not depression, but a holy sensitivity. When your heart is soft toward correction, when you weep in prayer without needing a crowd, when sin still bothers you, that's a sign the filter is recognizing you. A hard heart disqualifies, but a heart that stays moldable, that passes. You're also likely passing the filter if you're more interested in being transformed than being informed. Some chase sermons like entertainment, but don't want their character challenged. The ones heaven approves are those who ask, "Lord, change me," even when it hurts. They don't just want knowledge, they want the fire that refines. They crave the word, not just to teach them, but to tear down what doesn't belong. Another sign: you're uncomfortable with the world. Even when you're silent about it, you don't fit in with the culture anymore. The jokes feel off. The values feel empty. You feel like a stranger in your own generation. That tension is proof. Your spirit is resisting compromise. And even if people around you don't notice, heaven does. The filter is drawn to those who reject darkness, even when no one's clapping for it. The question you must ask yourself isn't, "Do I feel saved?" but rather, "Is the Spirit still confronting me?" if you've stopped being convicted. That's not peace. That's spiritual numbness. Does your life reflect real surrender or just well-rehearsed speeches? Do you live for the applause of men or the approval of heaven? Because when the trumpet finally sounds, only those who are already ready will rise. The filter before the rapture isn't coming, it's already happening. And the most dangerous place to be right now is unaware. While many are still waiting for the end to start, they've missed the fact that the test has already begun. Quietly, invisibly, eternally. Some have already been approved, others silently rejected. And yet they're still going through the motions, unaware that heaven has already drawn the line. So now, ask yourself, is my life just looking spiritual? Or is it being transformed in secret? Am I still being shaped by the Spirit? Or have I gotten comfortable with appearances? Because one day soon, everything hidden will be revealed. The question is, will you be found ready when no one else thought to prepare? Apply what you've heard today. Go into prayer. Get quiet with God. Let Him show you what He sees. And if this message shook something inside you, share it. Let others know the filter is active now. Don't stay silent. And most importantly, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. There's more to learn, more to uncover, and more to prepare for. We're in the